Hey everyone, so welcome back to another video on our channel, and this video is going to be a very important update regarding the TCS Prime interview experience and TCS Prime job role enhanced salary. So many people have received this TCS Prime and digital interview updates, so we're going to give you all the interview experience we can gather from them, and we're going to share all those questions what they have been asked by them already, what have been asked to them recently in past February hiring and also this hiring. So let's start one by one and see all the important questions, but before going for that we are going to see what is the enhanced salary for this particular TCS Prime role. So let's start, but before moving on, if you are new to our channel, make sure to click on the subscribe button, join our Telegram and WhatsApp channel from the description box link, and also make sure to click on the bell icon after subscribing, because we post multiple hiring, onboarding and interview updates every day regularly. Make sure not to miss out. So first of all, the enhanced salary of this TCS Prime role is going to be a very good amount, because the CTC also, you know, there is going to be 9 LPA for BTech graduates. Okay, so if you are a BTech candidate, you are going to get 9 LPA if by starting salary. But if you are going for this Prime role, if you are going to select it for this Prime role, so what is the in hand amount is going to be? So in hand amount is going to be approximately 61 to 62k in between that. Okay, so the exact amount you can get only after getting the pay slip and all, but this is going to be the approximate amount, around 61 to 62k you are going to get your enhanced salary. But what are the multiple questions and what are the things you should prepare in the interview, because Prime interview is going to be one of the toughest interview for any service based company you can see. So Prime interview obviously going to be toughest, because the CTC is also high and the job role is also high. Your things that you are going to work on after getting selected is also going to be high level things. So the questions and interview experience is going to be very tough. So let's see and understand all the interview experience one by one. First of all, let's understand what is these questions they are going to ask and what things you should prepare. First, you need to prepare basic and in-depth concepts of the programming language you are going to say as your strength. Obviously, first there will be introduction and all, and not written those basic things. And in the intro, or also if you not generally saying these things in the intro, they are going to ask you which programming language you have strength on, or which programming language do you like or use like that. So suppose you said Java or Python or C++, anything, they're going to ask all the basics questions and in-depth concepts from that particular programming language. Okay, suppose you are saying Java, so they're going to ask you in-depth concepts like even from JDK. What is JDK? You have to understand and explain this. Okay, is it a proper OOPS language? It is a complete OOPS language or not? What is the difference between C++ and Java? These things they are going to ask you. Okay, what is difference between final and finally? Okay, they like also oops related questions from Java, exception handling, memory management, everything from that particular question, a particular programming language they can ask you. So prepare a basic and in-depth every concept of one programming language that you are going to say to them. Okay, next they are going to ask about data structure concepts and theory both. So for data structures, how many data structures are there? For linear and non-linear, give every type of linear data structures, non-linear data structures, their use, their example in real life, also their example or use in the industry. You have to prepare all of this and also have clear conceptual knowledge about those things. They're asking these questions to Prime interview candidates, because Prime interview is going for a long time, 50 to 50 minutes to 1 hour it is going to be. So these questions they're going to ask you in depth. Next, database. From database you should have complete understanding of every concept. Okay, the normalization of database, why normalization is important, what are the different types of normalization. So there are many normalization forms, but you should know at least 1NF, 2NF, 3NF and BCNF. These four normalization forms you should know, and you should have a proper example to showcase them. Okay, also there might be other theories like the acid properties of transactions. Okay, rollback, commit, anything related to the SQL part, the one to one, one to many, these things are also going to be there. Okay, so every concept related to database you should have proper knowledge about. Okay, there might be questions from deadlock, how to resolve deadlock, these things also they might ask. From SQL they should ask you multiple queries are there. So for SQL query practice, just search in Google top interview SQL query questions. They are going to get multiple websites and practice from there. For SQL, I have already have a playlist. You can check from there also for SQL learning and revising. This particular question have been asked to prime interview candidates many times. Also for digital candidates also it has been asked. So there is a SQL query of nth highest. So nth highest might be anything. Suppose nth highest age or nth oldest person or nth highest salary, but nth highest or nth highest marks, anything they can ask from a table. You have to calculate. So how to calculate this, how to solve this particular question? For this particular, I have made a separate video. I'll give that video's link also in the description. You can check this particular question. I have given the detailed solution with explanation for this. Okay. Next, that is the most important thing for both digital and prime interview is going to be your project. Whatever project you have completed in your final year or any other project, if you have mentioned in your resume, they are going to ask you detailed in-depth questions from that project about the architecture, about the project idea, particular where you have worked in, the coding related part. They might ask why you have used this code, how you have designed this function. Also, they are going to ask any questions about the related technology stack, tech stack, what you have used in your project. Suppose you have used in your project React, okay, they might ask you React questions which are not related to your project. Okay, so they are going to check if you already know the tech stack you have used in your project, or you have just copied that particular code from the any other somewhere else. So make sure to understand and have conceptual knowledge about the technology stack you have used in the projects. Also in your resume, if you have attached any certifications, these certifications, anything if you have done like AI, ML or cyber security, anything whatever you have written in your resume, make sure to have detailed knowledge about it, because they are going to ask questions. And for prime interview, obviously there are going to be coding questions. They are going to ask you how to solve a particular coding questions. There might be one or two. Okay, generally 1 to 2 coding questions they are going to ask. And the coding questions also they are going to ask in the interview are not going to be easy. They are going to be from intermediate to above intermediate level. There might be questions with DSA knowledge required to solve. Okay, you should have knowledge about using the multiple DSA like linked list, stack queue, all these things, and even some greedy approach, DP, these things knowledge if you have, they are going to help you only. Okay, so programming knowledges questions they are going to ask in the interview, you have to solve there then and there. Okay, you have to showcase them how you are going to solve, what approach you are using, and you have to write those codes might be if they ask you, or at least the approach. So the coding questions are going to be a difficult level. Okay, intermediate to difficult, there will be no easy coding questions, so make sure to keep that in mind. Also after that there are managerial round questions, HR questions. Okay, the managerial round questions are going to be basically consisting of related to projects and certifications only. HR round questions generally they're going to ask you about the details of TCS like CEO, motto, when submitted, when established, these basic things like why you want to join TCS, these things they can ask. Also they are going to ask you some flexibility related questions like are you willing to work in night shift or not, are you willing to relocate to a separate city, okay, are you willing to work on any project like that. And also there will be questions related to leadership quality. So they might ask you leadership quality questions because you are going for a higher job role. Okay, so they might ask you what if you are becoming a leader of a team lead, what visions you are going to have, or how you are going to manage the team, how you are going to handle senior employees who are not leader, like that. So this type of multiple questions can be there. So prepare all these things accordingly, and if you want to see much more this type of interview experience videos, make sure to comment down. If you have any queries, you can comment down as well.